Welcome to Online Tutorial 8. And I've got to tell you, I've been sitting here this morning and I've been reading through the personal learning statements that have been put online. And some fantastic stuff there. Really, really fantastic stuff. And, you know, it makes me feel great as an educator because while the personal learning statements are for you, I'm getting a beautiful view into some of that thinking, right? And it helps me to know whether or not the type of experience that I'm trying to design for you as learners is actually working. And so, okay, we know it's not going to work for everyone in the class, okay? So that would be most probably unrealistic to have that expectation. But I am hoping, and from what I'm reading, it seems to be doing pretty well. So that heartens me, and I'm really looking forward to reading through Personal Learning Statement 3 when all of this comes together. But I'll come back to that in a minute. So the key thing that I'm looking for in your submissions, and I know some of you have mostly been uncomfortable. You know, where's the lack of where there's a lack of instruction. It's not as clear what we should be doing, right? So I would ask you this question. How many of you have reached out and asked me for help, for clarification, for assistance? Okay? We're going to talk a lot more about this on Saturday. It actually is all by design, believe it or not. Even though I have told you how unorganized I am, it actually is by design. And it is part of the process that I'm wanting you to experience. It's your thinking that I'm looking to assess, okay? And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have been able to do. So if you haven't yet got your strategies in, and even if you have got them in and you think you've missed something, send me an email and just say, hey Cole, we sent this through to you, not sure we were as clear as we could have been on this. What we meant to say was, and all I'm looking for is if you've changed your assumptions, tell me how and why you changed those assumptions. You don't have to give me all the old assumptions, okay? If you've gone back to the drawing board, totally, tell me why you did that, all right? I just need to understand the nature of your direction and, you know, the decisions you've made in the group. And conversely, in your video, hopefully you've dragged more of the environmental interaction framework in for the purpose of demonstrating why your strategy is compelling from your perspective, okay? Every workshop so far, I've tried to do something that will help shift your capacity for thinking in a different way, okay? And that has an impact on you all in different ways, okay? And so this Saturday will be no different. While it's a wrap-up, if you want, of the semester, I want to make sure that when you leave the class, and the same thing, it'll be 9 o'clock till 1 at the latest. I want to make sure that when you leave that class, that you've had another experience that shifts and challenges the way that you potentially think, so that you've got plenty to go away with and reflect, and then you can put in personal learning statement number 3 and you're done, all right? But I want to challenge you again, all right? And I want us to also have an opportunity to try and celebrate our failures. And it might be your failure to communicate as well as you would like to have in the group. It might be your failure to cope with the ambiguity of the unit. It might be other things that have happened in your life. But I want to try and find a way for us to actually think about how we celebrate those things. I have definitely been holding something back from you. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you on Saturday. Okay? So there's an idea, a framework, which really just is like, you can imagine you've been putting all this stuff into a box, right? And then there's this lid that we're going to put on the box. And that's this idea that I want to share with you on Saturday. It's a fairly uncomplicated idea, and there should be a nice natural symmetry between this idea and everything else you've been doing. I could have given you this idea at the very beginning, all right? The reason I didn't was because I felt that it would make the class too theoretical for you. And I really wanted you to just get on and use the framework and to come up with your ideas and think about how you're going to pitch them and have fun doing that. this little lid that I'm going to offer you an opportunity to put on your thinking hopefully will help you going forward. It'll help you to understand why it's important to challenge your assumptions, why it's important to investigate the nature of the environment, its factors and the relationships that exist between those things, and how it can actually help you as a learner, as a person, and as an entrepreneur in life. Okay? So I can't wait to see you all on Saturday. If you're umming and ahhing in terms of you could work, you don't have to work, come along. You won't regret being in the audience and being a part of the process, all right? We always make sure that goodbyes are fun, but more importantly, it could be the last time that we interact with each other as a group, and I want to make sure that when we walk out that door, there's something there that you're going to take with you going forward into the future, which will always help you to actually understand who you are, how do you think, and what type of thought processes do you need to be aware of as you go through all the different bits and pieces of your life. Can't wait to see you on Saturday. Cheerio.